Very good afternoon to one and all present. In our continuation with the yesterday's session in unit number 2, yesterday we saw your linear search, binary search, and bubble sort. Okay. Today we are going to take up with the furthermore your sorting techniques. We have already seen this implementation of the bubble sort along with the passes. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today we are going to see your insertion sort. Okay. Insertion sort, selection sort, shell sort, heap sort. These are the sorting techniques that we are left with. But before I go with the recollection part of insertion sort, I want answers from you all. What do you know about insertion sort? Any one of you can unmute yourself and just tell in one or two sentences what do you know. It can be method, it can be a property, anything. What do you know about insertion sort? Nobody knows about anything about the insertion sort. Is that so? As everybody of you is mom? Or you are feeling sleepy? It can be either of the two things.
Ma'am, insertion sort that will remove an element from our for our string, then it will find its place.
Okay.
That's it, ma'am. That's what I know about insertion sort.
Okay. Good try, Hassan. Anyone would like to help Hassan here? He has initialized with the explanation, which is really good on his part. And anyone would like to continue or would like to add something? Pratik, that is the basic thing that we do in the sortings, or at least in what we are discussing. Come on, students, you don't have to sit, mom. I'm telling what is the, okay, let me be specific with my question. Come on. I'm not generalizing. How is insertion sort performed? Or how can we get a sorted array with the help of insertion sort? Hasti, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Hasti, a little bit louder.
Yes, ma'am.
Correct. Dear, what is insertion sort or what do we do in insertion sort?
I don't remember actually.
Okay. Anyone would like to help? Jay? Jay, are you there in the session? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
How can we perform insertion sort?
I'm afraid I won't be able to answer that.
Say this.
Yes, ma'am. Suppose in first iteration we have to start with index 1 and then we have to compare it with 0th index, and then we have to move to second index, and then we have to compare with previous both, and like that we have to go till nth element.
Okay. Fine. This actually is a sorting algorithm which is discussed in your data structures also. So I thought it would be a revision for you all. But fine, we'll discuss it again. See, in your insertion sort, what is happening is we are taking up an array of elements, and the very first index we are denoting it as our sorted sub-array. And the rest of the remaining ones, we are denoting them or taking them, considering them as our unsorted sub-array. Okay? When you start with your insertion, the very first thing that you start with, identifying your sorted and unsorted subparts of array. So this one, first index, 0th index, becomes your sorted sub-array. This part, the rest of the indexes, irrespective of the size of array, the rest of the indexes becomes the part of your unsorted sub-array. Along with these two things, you are taking a variable called temp. Okay. Now, what is the use of this temp? You'll get to know. What is the mechanism, the logic? You are picking up the first index value of your unsorted sub-array and placing that value in the temp. Okay, you are placing the value at index, first index of your unsorted array into temp, thus making this particular index vacant for the value. Now what you'll do, you'll compare this temp and the value at the last index of your sorted array. As it is the only one here, okay, so you are going to compare with the 0th index of your sorted array. If the sorted index here, if this number, okay, is greater than your temporary number, which in our case is true, right? 5 is greater than 4. What you are going to do is you are going to shift the position of 5 one index to the right. We can do that because see, my 4 I went with temp. I kept it in temp. This index 1, okay, it is empty. So I can shift this 5. Then if you don't have any more, indexes to compare, this is the only index. So directly go and place 4 here. Okay. So 4 and 5 now becomes the sorted array and the rest of them are unsorted array. Now this is the first iteration. Like this, you have to repeat the cycle for each and every n elements. See, here in more good way, it is demonstrated. Now see, 4 is at index 0, 5 it is at index 1. Now this is my sorted array and the remaining portion is my unsorted array. Again, you repeat the process. Take 10 into temporary variable, so it is taken here. So this particular area of 10, or say the index where 10 was there, is now empty. Okay. Now go and compare temp with this particular index 1 first. Last, we are going to start from the last one in the sorted array. So you compare with 5. 5 is greater than 10? No. So what can we say? We have to place 10, or we assume that 10 is it in its right position. So again we'll take this 10 and place it in 2. And we are going to move this partition to here. Now this is my sorted array and this is my unsorted array. Okay, so see, the partition is moved. So 4, 5 and 10 are the part of my sorted array. 1, 6 and 2 are the part of my unsorted array. Everybody with me till the second round? Anyone is having any doubt till here? Students, yes or no? Anyone having any doubt till here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now comes to the fourth pass. Again, take 1 from its index value, place it inside temp. Compare it. Start the comparison from here. Compare 10 and 1. 10 is greater than 1? Yes. So shift the position of 10 to the 1 index towards its right. Okay, so now this particular section is empty. Again compare 1 and 5. 5 is greater than 1? Yes. So shift this 5, 1 index towards its right. Right? So now this part is empty. Again compare 1 and 4. 4 is greater than 1? Yes. So again shift it one side towards its right. So this part is empty. Now nothing is to be compared. So directly place 1 at index number 0. Okay. See, one space is empty. You shift 5. Again one space is empty. You shift 4. And in the empty space now, as there is nothing to be compared, so you place 1. So now your sorted array is 1, 4, 5, 10. And unsorted array is 6 and 2. Again repeat the same process. Take 6 into temp. Okay. 6 is placed in temp and compare with each of them. So here 10 is going to again shift to this side. Right? 5 is not going to shift because 5 is not greater than 6. So 6 is going to be placed here. Okay. See. So now 1, 4, 5, 6, 10 is my sorted array. 2 is the part of unsorted array. Again, this 2 is going to be getting removed or say placed in temp. So the index at 2 is empty. Now go on comparing. 10 greater than 2, yes. So shift right. 6 greater than 2, yes. Shift right. 5 greater than 2, yes. Shift right. 4 greater than 2, yes. Again shift right. 1 greater than 2, no. So 2 can be placed here. Okay. See, this is the same thing. So at the end you get the insertion sort as 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 10. Everybody understanding it or not? Others?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now coming to the algorithm and time complexity. In the best case scenario, insertion sort gives you order of n, the time complexity. Okay. In worst case scenario, it is order of n square. Fine. And in the average case, it is again order of n square. Now again, you understand and you remember these. For the explanation part, I will tell you in the lab. As I told you for binary search, that explanation part I'll tell you in the lab. Right now you remember the algorithm and its inserting. Okay. Now comes the selection sort. What happens in selection sort? Tell me. Students, what happens in selection sort? Vivek, would you like to tell me what happens in selection sort? Vivek, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know selection sort?
Not perfect, but at least some hint. Not perfectly known, but some hint.
Speak up.
Compare each element, first and second. Then, if first is bigger, then replace it to the second position. Then again compare with second and third position. If second is bigger, third is bigger, then as it is, and then perform same as the array is not over.
Students, just a minute, please. Okay. Vivek, could you please repeat your answer?
First, this first index and takes second index, compare both. If
Okay.
first index is big,
Hmm.
greater than second index, then swap both. Now greater index is at second position. Then again take second position and third position. Compare both. If third position is greater than, then as, as it is, and next compare third and fourth position,
Okay.
and perform same as for all elements.
You guys know, then also I don't know why you guys are not speaking. Fine. Yes, absolutely right. See, your selection sort algorithm sorts an array by repeatedly finding the minimum element, because we are going with the ascending order. Okay, from unsorted part and put it at the beginning. Now, algorithm again here is maintaining two sub arrays just like the previous one, but with a little different approach. The sub array which is already sorted and the remaining sub array which is unsorted. Okay, and in the every iteration, the minimum element from unsorted sub array is picked and moved into the sorted sub array. Now have a look here. This 64, 25, 12, 22 and 11. So size of my input is 5 and this is my round 1, or you can say 5 pass 1. Now here what we did previously in the insertion, the 0th index, okay, we were considering it as our sorted array, and those from 1 to 4 they were considered as unsorted array. Now here that is not the case. That's why I said that a little bit different approach. Okay, here what we are doing, we are having a sorted array but no index as such, and the entire initially in your pass 1 initially entire array is a part of your unsorted array. Okay, now what you do is you take, suppose you are taking 64 as the minimum initially. Okay, whichever is your a of 0, let's say this is array a, Okay, then A of 0 is your minimum, and the next one is your A of j. Let's say it is your A of j. Okay, so you are going to first of all find the smallest element here. Out of all, you are going to find the smallest element, that which can be the minimum one. Compare it. Okay, so you will find what? That 11. One by one, when you go and compare, you will find that 11 is the minimum amount, or say the minimum number. So go and swap 11 and 64. Okay, first you see which one is the minimum, compare each one of them with each other. Okay, and you will get that 11 is the minimum one. Then you swap the position of 64 and 11. All right, so now 11 becomes the part of my sorted array, and the rest of them are the part of my unsorted array. Okay, did you guys pass one? And I hope everybody is recalling, because this one is actually again in our data structure. I hope people are recalling. So now this 11 is the part of a sorted array, and the rest of these elements are the part of your unsorted subarray. Okay, again repeat the same process. Go and find the minimum. Okay, so 25, 12, 22, 64. Okay, but we find that 12 is the minimum, right? So whom we are going to again go and swap? 12 and 25. So 12 and 25 when swapped, okay, 11 and 12 becomes the part of sorted array. Rest of them are unsorted array in your pass 2. Now pass 3. Again find out the minimum. 25 minimum, or like you go on comparing 22. 22 and 64. So 22 is still minimum. So go and swap 25 and 22. So again 11, 12 and 22 are the part of your sorted array. 25 and 64 part of unsorted array. Now again repeat the same process. Though we can see that we don't need to, but the program does not know. So 25 and 64. So 25 is in its own position, right? No need to swap. So 64 is the only unsorted element. So that is also included in your sorted array. Thus we are getting what? Your final sorted array. Everyone who were not able to recall, I hope you are recalling this method, and those who did not know or forget, I hope it is clear to all of you. Yes or no? Students, yes or no? Selection sort.
Yes, clear, ma'am.
Okay, so algorithm goes like this. You take a for loop and you assign the minimum value to a variable as I. Now take take a jth element, which is I plus 1. Okay, so see. Oops. From here, you are assigning the minimum, because minimum equal to I value is 0. So this is minimum, and you take j value as I plus 1. Okay, so this one. And then you go on comparisons. Okay, so for j is equals to I plus 1, j less than n, I plus plus. If a of j is less than a of minimum, then you update your minimum. Okay, go on updating. So you will find one minimum value. When you get that, you see that if minimum is not equal to I, then you swap. Okay, but if it is equal to I, then you don't need to swap. Just keep it as it is. Now in all of these, the best case, average case and worst case, for all of the cases of your selection sort, the order is n square. How n square? Any simple explanation anyone can give? Order of n square. Any simple explanation? Don't go on logarithmic one. That I'll go for you in the lab sessions. But how n square? A simple observation if anyone has made. Anyone observed something in this particular algorithm? Okay, no one has observed anything. Can you see there are
Yes,
two for loops?
ma'am. For the first for loop, it's 1 plus n plus 1 plus n plus n. So it's 3n plus 2. For the second for, it's the same, ma'am. Then after multiplying, we will get n power 2, n square.
Okay, Hassan, that I was going to do in the lab, but thank you. The simplest, also the easiest way you can say is because two for loops. Remember that table. There are two for loops. The order or the efficiency class is of n square. Okay. Next is your shell sort. Ever heard about this? Shell sort? Anyone heard about shell sort before?
No.
Okay. For the rest of you,
No, ma'am.
all
No,
right.
ma'am.
Okay. See, this shell sort, okay, is a little, we can say in a way, a little improvement of your insertion sort. Okay. Again, we are comparing here to find out which one and to arrange them. Okay. But we are this time we are fixing up a little of a distance. Okay. In your shell sort, what we are doing is we are going and comparing the elements, but at a fixed distance. Okay, and this distance we are going to decrement in some fixed amount. All right, and again we will go for the next pass. At the end, what we are going to get is an you can say a sorted array. You will see how it happens. Okay, let's look at the theory first here. The shell sort is an algorithm that first sorts the element far apart from each other. Okay, and successively means as and when the iteration happens, okay, that particular distance is reduced. Fine. Successively reduces the interval between the elements to be sorted. It is a generalized version of insertion sort. We can say a little bit of improvement. Okay, efficiency of this particular sorting technique is depending upon the gap. And the original sequence, you can say it is n by 2, n by 4, dot, dot, dot till 1. Okay, so you see here, this orange one is my unsorted array, 9837561. Now, in the first pass, let's say it is a first pass, okay, the array size n equal to 8. All right, these are your n 8 elements. Elements lying at the interval of n by 2, so that is 4. Okay, so from 0 till the interval of 4, so 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, these two will get the comparison first. The 0th element is compared with the 4th element. Okay, if the 0th element is greater, we are comparing comparing it with the 4th element, and if it is greater, we are swapping it. Okay, the 4th element is first stored in the temporary variable, and 0th element, the greater element, is stored in the 4th position. All right, and the element stored in temp is stored in the 0th position. How the swapping is happening? Because see what happens if I directly go and swap 9 here, okay, in the place of 5, this 5 will get overwritten. right? So what we are doing, we are using a third variable temp. So first this 5 we are moving it in temp, okay? This 9 we are moving it to the index position 4, and from temp we are moving this to index position 0. Did you understand the shell sort? Did you get the first pass? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now see, again, you must be thinking that every time we have to take this interval as n by 2. It is not the case. Okay, that distance you can take of your own. That's why, see, this efficiency depends upon the gap. Okay, you can take here, let's say you can take here the k value, or say the distance value as 3 also, as 5 also, as 6 also. Okay, so your pass will differ at that point or accordingly, because now the second step in the second pass, what we have to do, we have to reduce the gap. Okay, so when we go for the second pass here, okay, initially like this is my n equal to n by 2. Okay, so 8 by 2, so equal to 4. So what we did here, 9 and 5, see, from 0th index we are moving 9 to index 4. So 9 and 5, so these orange places are your sorted places. Okay, now what we are doing, now we are again going for the next numbers, that is 8 and 6. Okay, we are again comparing 8 and 6. Obviously 6 is the smaller one, so 6 moves to 10, 8 moves to the place of 6, 6 moves here. Okay, now this is just your first pass. Okay, this is just your first pass, we have not gone to the second part yet. Now compare 3 and 4. See, gap is 0, 1, 2 and the fourth one. So we have to compare the fourth element from our initial element, right? So 3 and 4. Do we need any swapping? No. So 3 remains as it is. Next element. Compare with the fourth element. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So that becomes 1. So obviously 7 is greater than 1. So this 1 is swapped, and we say that after first pass, my array is 5, 6, 3, 1, 9, 8, 4, 7. This is the end of my first pass. Now, we are going with the second pass. Okay, this is your second pass. Now, if we go to the second pass, we have to reduce the gap. So gap we are keeping as 2. Initially, see, the gap was 4, right? Now the gap we are reducing it by 2 units. So gap we are reducing it by 2. So from my ith value, okay, the next second element, from my ith value, next second element, so that is 3. So now you compare 5 and 3. Do I need a swap? Yes. So 3 goes and takes the position of 5. Now again the next element 6. 6 and the second element from 6. So 1 and 2. So 6 and 1. Do I need a swapping? Yes. So again 1 is in place of 6. 6 is placed on 1. Next element, that is 5. So compare it with the second element. So 1 and 2. Right? So 5 and 9. Do I need any comparisons? No. But here, what you have to do is, you don't have to just compare in front, but you have to compare backwards also. Okay? This, in your second pass, you are comparing not only in forward direction, but you are comparing in the backward direction also. Why in the first two cases we could not do that? Because there is no backward to pass here. Not even in the case of this iteration, or not even the case of this iteration, right? But when we came to 5, we could compare with the 2 indexes backwards too. So you compare there also. Alright. Now obviously 3 is less than 5, so there is no comparison. So 3, 1, 5 is sorted. Now next go to 6. 6 and 8. Do I need any swapping? No. Go back. In the same line, go 2 indexes back. 6 and 1. Do I need any swapping? Again, no. So 6 will be included in your sorted list. Okay. Now go with 9. 9 and 4. Do I need a swap? Yes. So swap is done. So 4 in place of 9. Again, look at the backward index. 4 and 5. Do I need a swap? Yes. So 3, 1, 4, 6 and 5 are my sorted array members. Okay. Now go with the 8. 8 and 7. Do I need a swap? Yes. So 7 is here. Okay. Now you go and check. 7, 5 and 6. Do I need any more swapping? Again, no. So 3, 1, 4, 6, 5, 7, 8, 9 is my sorted array I'm getting after my second pass. After reducing the gap in the second pass. Go for the third pass. Now see, if you want to reduce, you cannot go and reduce by 2 units, right? The gap, we need to reduce our gap in the third iteration. We cannot reduce it to 2 units, otherwise it will be 0, right? So we cannot do that. So reducing it by 1. So each one of them will now get compared. 3 and 1. Do I need a swap? Yes. So 1 in front. 3 and 4. Do I need a swap? No. So 3 is a part of sorted array. 4 and 6. Do I need a swap? Again, no. So 4 is a part of sorted array. 6 and 5. Do I need a swap? Yes. So 5 is placed in the place of 6. 6 and 7. Do I need a swap? No. 7 and 9. Do I need a swap? No. 9 and 8. Do I need a swap? Yes. So here again 8. Now the only thing that remains here is 9. Again it is not required to compare anywhere. So at the end you are getting a sorted array like this. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is your shell sort. Did you guys get it? See, once again I'm telling the distance is upon you. You can take 5 and then reduce it by 2. Okay, decrement the value of that distance. Okay, you can take even like this also, 4, then 2, then 1. Okay, and that's why the efficiency of this cell sort is depending upon the gap. Any doubts here so far? Anyone? Students, any questions anybody is having? Okay. So see, this is how the algorithm is written. We are writing cell sort, and the parameters that we are giving is array and the size of array. So for interval I, size divided by 2n down to 1. That means the interval we are going to take it like whatever we want to take. So that distance, interval means the distance or say the gap. Okay, that you can decide and then go down till 1. Okay, you cannot go to 0 gap. You have to go down till 1. So for each interval I in array, you are doing what? Sorting the elements, and that is the end. That's it. Okay, the worst case, best case, and the average case scenarios. Again, there is a particular lab here, a lab experiment here. So again, I want to show you the workings or say the mathematical, as I showed you for your binary search. So right now you remember the worst case of this algorithm of your cell sort is n square. Best case is n log n, and again average case is n log n. Okay. Am I clear till here for everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Please don't forget this cell sort working now. Okay. Ten minutes. Okay. I can explain you the heap sort. Okay, before going with the heap sort, can you tell me what is heap? Ever heard anything like heap, something like that? Anyone? Or where did you have, or could you recall where did you have heard this previous to this session, of course? Anyone? Temporary memory, okay. Complete binary tree, okay. We can say that it is one of a tree-based data structure. Your heap, just heap, okay, is one of your tree-based data structure. And the heap sort, that's why we are sorting our array in something like this tree structure. Okay, you see here you have total 6 elements, correct? So we are trying to keep those elements in a heap form, and heap is nothing but a tree kind of a data structure. So what you guys have thought of is right. Now, what does this heap sort do? It is one of the popular and efficient sorting algorithm in computer programming. To write the heap sort algorithm requires the knowledge of two kinds of your data structure. One is your array, another is your tree. The heap sort works by visualizing these elements of array as a special kind of complete binary tree called heap. Can you give me the definition of complete binary tree? Anyone? Yes, anybody? Complete binary tree. When can you say that tree is a complete binary tree? Students, equal number of child on both the sides. Okay. Anyone else?
When we have two child for each node.
Correct. So how we are following the relationship between the array indexes and the tree? Now see, here you need to keep two things in mind. Your heap sort is going to work in exactly two stages. Okay. One, it is going to construct the heap. That means this particular tree-like structure. Okay. And then second, it is going for deletion of whichever is the maximum number node in order to sort. Okay. And this deletion part will happen only with the child nodes. It won't be happen when that, suppose here the maximum number is 12. Okay, then directly you cannot delete 12 from here in between. What you are going to do is you are going to bring that 12, you will do one or the other operation and you will bring that 12 as the child node. You see right now it is minimum heap. In the minimum heap, either you can bring it here or you can bring it to the root. Okay, and then you go and delete it. This is known as heapify. How to heapify. Okay. See, if you see here, just I'll show you. Wait. See, I'll explain you. I'm not skipping anything. I'll explain you. But see, either we are taking here this 12 on the root side first, right? Or we are swapping it and making it, coming it to the child node. Then from the child node, we are deleting that 12. And then again, we are, adjusting our tree. back, or we can say we are balancing our tree back. Okay, that is what the first pass is, and that is one whole method to build maximum or minimum heap. Okay, let me do one thing. It is already going to be 250. Fine. Okay, we'll take this in your next session. I just gave you the introduction about the heap sort. This is what the method is going to be. Okay, you construct your heap and then you delete the maximum key. How you are going to delete it? In a way, right now you understand that from the child node. Okay, don't go into much technicalities that we saw it in the root and then it went to the child. Don't go that much. Okay, understand what is your heap sort. Okay, your heap sort is going to work into two stages. That is, you construct your heap and then afterwards you delete whichever is your maximum key. And how we are going to construct, okay, that we are going to see in your next session. That means this part. Okay, what is this heap data structure and how to heapify a tree. Okay, that is what we are going to see in your next session. Along with this algorithm of heap sort, we will also cover your sorting. I guess the first radix sort we can take. Okay, sorting in your linear time. These 2 points, these two topics we are going to cover in your next session. Radix sort and everything about your heap sort. I have just given you the introduction, so you just remember these things. Okay, otherwise, because I'm not continuing it anymore, because this is all they need, they are connected. So if there is a break, again we have to start from the very first. All right, so we are keeping our session till here. Thank you all for attending this session. Hope no doubts till here. Anyone is having any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So we are concluding this session here. See you in the next week. TD1 students, kindly write your numbers in the chat. Okay. TD1 student, please remain patient. TD2 students, numbers in the chat. Okay. Anyone who is remaining, you can write your number in the chat.